Okay, I first came to know Mr. Golden in the spring of 1969.
I first got to know him when I became a student here at the Academy, which was I graduated in 1977. He was just as funny and outgoing then as he is now.
Well, to kind of quote Steve Martin, I think he's kind of a wild and crazy guy.
He had played in the city, so he knew how to give some cheap shots, and he was a pretty physical player. Before the Hilltopper was a restaurant, it was a sports bar. They had been to the bar before the game, and the game was at the old rec center, the Armory building. So they were very aggressive, playing dirty, and started to hurt some of the people who were playing on our team. They would just with cheap shots into the bleachers. And Mr. Golden became our enforcer. He started to take all of the cheap shots that the other guys were giving out to the wrestlers. They all focused on him. And at the end of the game, it was pretty much a brawl. And he had his glasses were cocked, and he had a bloody nose. But as I have told that story, every one of the guys on the other team looked worse than he did. And that's the kind of thing, is the kind of guy, he will stand up and fight regardless of personal cost for the people he cares about.
He's got such a voice on him. He says what he's feeling, and at first people are very shocked or stunned by him, but once you get to know him, he's like this big teddy bear.
He remembered as the guy that always wears the shoes green that he painted for St. Patrick's Day, and the loudest fan at any of the sporting events.
And so Mr. Golden, he's standing on the far end, down by the left field foul poles, not on the team side or anything, and he's down in the corner, just screaming his stuff, and it's all positive. I mean, you know. And so finally we had this new referee. She comes over to me and she said, "He can't do that." And I go, "He can't do what? What is he doing that he can't do?" I said, "He's not yelling anything negative. He's not complaining about you," which he should be, but no. He's not complaining about you or your calls. He's not complaining about not goading the other team. Yeah. Well, he just can't do that. And I said, "Really?" And he said, "He can't stand there." And I'm going like, this just is nothing was made. This is a rookie ref. He has to stand over here. And I said, "Okay." Yeah. And I said, so I put him there, and she put him moved him over on our side of the field, right behind the visiting team. Oh. That's where she told him to stand. The coach looks at me, and I go, "Hey," so for the whole game, right behind the visitor's bench, Larry was unloading his, brutality or something, I said, but, he didn't say anything about a missed call or, and they banged together and stuff. I said,
he used to paint banners across Fuller Hall balcony, celebrating sports teams or wishing them good luck.
And he will go way out of his way to try to help a student. I mean, I've seen kids that came in that were, like 6'6", and he was going to make them a basketball star. He spent endless hours over to the gym working with a kid.
I think for a long time he saw himself as one of the few who would speak on behalf of the unpopular or the unnoticed. What people remember the most about him is how he took a deep interest in their future and wanted everybody to recognize that they had talents or strengths and could use them in the real world to be successful, whether it would be artistic talent or athletic talent or simply good looks and a good personality. He would come straight out and tell kids, whether he knew them or not, well, he would be pretty straightforward, say, you know what you should do with your life? You should do this. Seriously, you have this, this, and this going for you.
I still run into graduates here that had Mr. Golden, and they've gone into museums, and they remember a painting because of the way Mr. Golden taught.
And his memory, he remembers, I think, and it's one of the things about Mr. Golden that amazes me the most is that he has this incredible memory. And he not only remembers, I don't want to say every single one of his students, but he remembers a lot of his students. And not only does he remember their names, but he remembers things about them and their life.
Yeah. He's got a real cross-section of humanity in his art program. I mean, I should have taken his art program. I can't do stick figures. Maybe I'll learn. And he takes people like myself who can't draw a stick figure when they get there, and next thing you know, by hook or by crook, they're doing some pretty decent stuff as the year goes on. And
I think that people will tell stories like some of his trick plays, like his green shoes and bow tie, almost getting kicked out of basketball games, or just that iconic picture of the artist at an athletic event screaming gibberish while he paints a beautiful landscape. There's a picture right outside my office of a father and son standing looking at the fountain down at Arnold
it's like
Park.
a sketch, right?
Yeah. It's been up for 20 years. Mr. Golden drew that, but the man in the portrait is Mr. Golden and the son is his son, Larry. So, and Larry's got to be 30-something now. So it's things like that that
Yeah, I never knew.